What do you think?
Oh, man, he's the real deal. At first, I wasn't sure, but the guy's earning respect. He's bringing the fun back.
62 to go when they come to the line.
Oh, look at, oh, no!
Oh, he spun the tires and then spinning into the walls, the 55 of Robusto.
NASCAR drivers dropped a bombshell about one of the most unexpected names in the garage, Cletus McFarland. Known for burnout contests and crazy car stunts on YouTube, Cletus is now racing with the pros. But what shocked everyone? Real drivers are split. Some love it, some hate it. And the debate? It's only getting louder. Cletus McFarland, a name that once meant YouTube laughs and wild car videos, is now printed on a real race car. At first, nobody took him seriously. He was the guy from Freedom Factory, not a future NASCAR driver. But when he pulled up at Daytona for his ARCA debut with Reddy Jones Racing, things changed. This wasn't a quick stunt. It was the start of something real. Sure, he crashed, but instead of quitting, he got serious. Cletus started watching race tape, studying laps, and asking for help from veteran drivers. He studied race footage obsessively, analyzed my mistakes, and started seeking advice from people who'd done this for decades. He wasn't just playing around, he wanted to learn. Not everyone was impressed. NASCAR veteran Kenny Wallace didn't hold back. He slammed Cletus for using an unauthorized in-car camera setup and wearing safety gear that didn't follow NASCAR rules. Wallace said clearly, "You don't just show up and freestyle your way through, there are lives on the line." This wasn't about gatekeeping, it was about safety and respect. His strong words echoed across the NASCAR world. But instead of causing a fight, this moment helped Cletus see just how serious the sport really is. Instead of lashing out or brushing it off, Cletus did something surprising. He apologized.
Down there, you're good. Nobody's leaning on you at all. It's just down here, 3 and 4 is tough. So just wait just a little bit longer before you really commit back to the throttle and make sure that left front's low.
He admitted his mistakes and showed he was serious about learning. That humility opened doors. People started thinking, maybe he's not just some internet guy. Maybe he really wants to earn it. Cletus acknowledged in his interviews that NASCAR is a completely different challenge than anything he had faced before. For many in the racing world, that kind of self-reflection changed everything. Then came a major moment. Greg Biffle, a legend with 19 Cup wins, offered to help. After Cletus raced at Charlotte, Biffle mentored him, breaking down his driving, pointing out areas for improvement and teaching him pit road communication. Biffle didn't just offer technical advice, he offered belief. It was a big deal when someone that accomplished said, "I'll help you figure this out." That wasn't just support, it was a signal to the rest of NASCAR that Cletus was worth investing in. Another giant of NASCAR, Kevin Harvick, brought Cletus on his podcast. The conversation was straight to the point, no sugarcoating. The veteran made it clear that mastering NASCAR is no quick task, emphasizing that it's a craft learned over time. Yet, Harvick also acknowledged the dedication he saw in Cletus, noting that the effort and determination he was putting in truly mattered. Hearing such a balanced mix of challenge and encouragement from one of NASCAR's most respected voices gave Cletus credibility and showed the garage that he was serious about earning his place. Every race taught Cletus something new. After one race, he admitted,
I think I ran every single possible line through 3 and 4.
I saw that.
And I think I just killed the front right on the car.
Yeah, it's
trying to keep up with those dudes. And then those last 15, when they were passing me, there was literally nothing I could do.
And when he got past, he said, "I was fighting for my life in there. I could not catch up."
It's like getting your freaking wing clipped
Yeah.
when they come out on your outside. Holy,
Yes.
the first time that happened, I'm lucky I didn't take that dude outside of me out and
Very
myself.
lucky.
These weren't just funny quotes. They showed real growth. Cletus was learning the hard way and sharing it openly. Cletus's rise split the NASCAR world in half. Supporters saw him as a bridge for younger fans who follow YouTube. Critics raised safety concerns. Was NASCAR risking too much by letting influencers race? Could social media fame outweigh real skill? These were fair questions, but Cletus didn't hide. After causing an accident, he said on Fox Sports, "I want to start out by apologizing to the team that I took out. I think it was several cars. I just feel terrible. Every time I go racing, I don't want to get taken out. I felt it. It sucks." His emotional honesty helped people see that he wasn't just doing this for views. Off camera, Cletus was grinding. He expanded his team. He added a veteran crew chief. He even attended closed-door meetings just to learn. He started showing up at races he wasn't driving in, just to observe pit calls and race flow. He said, "I've been sent home, and I made a complete rookie maneuver on the restart. I zigged, and then I zagged, and then she was blowing my door off, and on the zag, I hit her and put her in the wall. I feel terrible about it. I know those guys work hard to be out here. It sucks to send them home." But what stood out was that he kept going. He kept learning. At Kansas Speedway, Cletus put it all together. He didn't crash. He didn't overdrive. He finished clean. He said, "I forgot there was no dang restrictor plate on this thing. I'm like, wham! Gave her the beans. It steps out, and then I clipped Robusto. Just feels bad, but we'll move forward." That race might not have made headlines, but it marked real growth. He showed patience, maturity, and control. That's what wins over NASCAR veterans, not flash, but steady improvement. Now, people are asking, can Cletus be both a digital star and a real racer? Some think it's a dangerous mix. Entertainment and motorsport don't always blend well. Others say it's exactly what NASCAR needs to grow. Cletus is pulling in new fans, many of them young and digitally native, who are discovering NASCAR for the first time. At the same time, he's working hard behind the scenes, trying to earn respect lap by lap. His story isn't just about racing, it's about transformation. He's learning a new world while still being himself. That balancing act might just be his biggest challenge yet, but it could also be what helps NASCAR connect with a new generation of fans who care about personality as much as performance. Cletus McFarland might have started out burning tires for YouTube views, but now he's burning rubber with some of NASCAR's best. What started as a wild idea is turning into one of the most talked about journeys in modern racing. He's faced criticism, made mistakes, and owned up to them every time. More importantly, he's kept showing up, and that counts. As legends like Harvick, Biffle, and Wallace continue to weigh in on his progress, one thing's for sure, this story is still being written. Whether you see him as a trailblazer or a troublemaker, Cletus McFarland is forcing NASCAR to look in the mirror and ask, who belongs on this track? And why? And that question might be the most important lap he's ever taken.
He just loses it,
Yeah.
all on his own.
Oh, Kyle Larson with problems. This
I
is
got no brakes.
No brakes is the call.
Yeah, I heard no brakes, and you heard Cliff Daniels get right on the radio to bring it to us. So it sounds like the 5 will be coming to pit road. He was running 24th.
But 24th from quite a distant qualifying effort of 26th, which is highly unusual.
You know that feeling when everything that can go wrong does go wrong? Well, Kyle Larson just lived through every NASCAR driver's absolute worst nightmare at Watkins Glen. What happened to the 2021 Cup Series champion wasn't just bad luck. It was a complete disaster that might have just ended his shot at this year's regular season championship. Imagine being Kyle Larson, behind the wheel of your #1 car. 5 Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet on a formidable NASCAR road course. Despite a 26th place qualifying run, you've conquered Watkins Glen twice previously. Confident in your ability to advance. As the green flag waves, you're poised to make your ascent through the ranks. But then, just 6 laps into the race, barely enough time to get your tires warmed up, everything goes horribly wrong. Larson was running mid-pack when he approached turn 1, that scary 90-degree corner that's caught out plenty of drivers over the years. Suddenly his car started spinning, and the words that came over his radio told the whole story. "I got no brakes." Think about that for a second. You're flying down a racetrack at over 100 miles per hour, and your brakes just stop working. That's not just scary, that's terrifying. Larson somehow managed to keep his car under control and avoid a major crash, but his day was basically over before it even started. His crew chief, Cliff Daniels, immediately called him down pit road. When Larson limped his car into the pits, the team quickly figured out what went wrong. It wasn't just a simple brake problem, it was a complete brake line failure. Daniels got on the radio and told his team they needed to change the entire brake line. Now, changing a brake line during a race isn't like changing tires. This is major surgery on a race car. Larson had to go behind the wall, which in NASCAR terms means your day is pretty much done. While other drivers were racing for stage points and track position, Larson was sitting in the garage watching his championship hopes slip away. Daniels was clearly frustrated when he talked to NASCAR.com after the race. He said, "Incredibly unfortunate because I really wish that it would have shown up yesterday or at any point sooner than 5 laps into the start of the race." When the team looked at the car, they found brake fluid pouring out of the lines. That's not something you can patch up quickly. The team worked frantically to replace the brake line, bleed the brakes, and get Larson back on track. But in NASCAR, every lap you're behind the wall cost you big time. By the time Larson returned to the race at lap 22, he was already 16 laps down. In a sport where races are often decided by seconds, being 16 laps behind is like being in a different time zone. But here's where the story gets even worse for Larson. This wasn't just about one bad race. Going into Watkins Glen, Larson was sitting pretty in the championship hunt. He was only 45 points behind his teammate, William Byron, for the regular season championship. With just 2 races left in the regular season, that gap was totally manageable. Larson knew how important this race was. During his media session on Saturday, he talked about needing a strong run at Watkins Glen to chase down Byron and Chase Elliott, who was sitting second in points. He had a real shot at winning his second regular season title. But after finishing 39th at Watkins Glen, Larson's championship dreams took a massive hit. He didn't just stay 45 points behind Byron, he fell to 85 points back. That's a 40-point swing in the wrong direction, and with only 2 races left, it's basically game over for the regular season championship. What makes this even more painful is that this isn't the first time Larson has had bad luck this season. Ever since he failed to complete the double back in May, that's when he tried to run both the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600 on the same day. His season has been up and down. In the last 5 races before Watkins Glen, Larson had finished 28th or worse 3 times. For a driver of his caliber, that's just not normal. The really frustrating part for Larson and his team is that they know they have speed. Daniels mentioned that they've shown up with fast cars in recent weeks, but they just can't put together complete races. It's like having a Ferrari that breaks down every time you try to drive it. All that potential, but nothing to show for it. Even after going behind the wall, Larson's team tried to make the best of a terrible situation. When he came back out, he was so far behind that he could push his car to the limit without worrying about track position. He ended up setting the fastest lap of the race with a time of 73.203 seconds, earning himself an extra point for the Xfinity Fastest Lap Award. This was actually Larson's 3rd road course Xfinity Fastest Lap of the 2025 season. He'd previously won the award at Circuit of the Americas and the Mexico race, plus one at Bristol. But as Daniels pointed out, the luster of it has gone away a little bit for us because we've had to do that twice now at road courses. Daniels tried to stay positive about the whole situation. He talked about using the opportunity to build their notebook and practice pit strategy. But you could tell he was frustrated. When asked about the team's recent struggles, he was honest. There's not a whole lot to be said about right now, other than we're just not getting the results. But Daniels also showed the kind of fighting spirit that made him one of NASCAR's top crew chiefs. He said, "Never bet against yourself and just being realistic about where we are, the fact that we have shown up with speed the last handful of weeks. I'm really hopeful that people count us out." That's the kind of attitude you want from your crew chief when everything's going wrong. Daniels knows they have fast cars, and he's betting that sooner or later, their luck will turn around. The timing of this disaster couldn't be worse for Larson. NASCAR is heading to Richmond Raceway next, and that's actually good news for him. He's won there twice before. But with the regular season championship basically out of reach, the pressure is now on making sure he's ready for the playoffs. What happened to Larson at Watkins Glen also highlights a bigger problem that NASCAR fans have been talking about. While Larson was dealing with brake failures and mechanical gremlins, fans were comparing the Cup Series race to the Xfinity Series race from the day before. And guess what? A lot of fans thought the Xfinity race was way more exciting. Social media was buzzing with comments like, "Xfinity is what will grow this sport in its current state. I look forward to Saturday more than Sunday now." Some fans even said they'd rather watch the Xfinity Series because the racing is better. That's not great news for NASCAR's Premier Series. The problem is that the current Cup Series car package makes it hard for drivers to race each other closely. The cars lose so much downforce when they get near each other that passing becomes really difficult. Denny Hamlin has talked about this before, saying that in Xfinity, drivers can manipulate the car in front and actually affect the race. In Cup Series, you just lose all your downforce and fall back. Austin Hill, who races in both series, said the Xfinity cars are so much fun to drive because you can slip and slide around.
I've wanted all those places, so let's go do it again, right? Watkins Glen's probably my favorite road course we go to. Richmond is statistically one of my best racetracks that we go to. And then Daytona's been one of our best racetracks since I've been at RCR with Team Chevrolet. So, feel really good about our opportunities in the next 3 weeks.
Kyle Busch has just 3 races left to make it into the 2025 NASCAR playoffs. He hasn't won in 2 years, and his chance to race for the championship is almost gone. Every race now counts. Can he pull off a win and make it into the playoffs, or will this be the year he misses out? Kyle Busch is a famous NASCAR driver known for his strong racing and many wins, but now he's facing one of the hardest parts of his career. The 2025 season has been tough for him, even though he has won a lot in the past. Right now, it's not clear if he'll make it into the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. With only 3 races left in the season, he doesn't have much time to turn things around. As it stands, Kyle Busch is 19th in the standings, far outside the coveted top 16 spots that will advance to the playoffs. His current position is a far cry from the dominance he's known for in NASCAR. With just 3 races remaining, Busch's only hope for playoff qualification lies in a win. But with the competition heating up and his recent struggles, securing that victory is far from guaranteed. Busch's story is one of highs and lows. The 2024 season was a tough blow for the 9-year-old driver, marking the first time in his career that he failed to win a race. After a season of ups and downs, he ended up outside the playoffs for the first time since the modern playoff format began. But despite his struggles, Busch has always been a fighter, and the question now is whether he can rally in 2025. This season has been no different, with Busch still seeking his first victory of the year. While his team's performance has been solid, consistent finishes have proven elusive. Busch's only path to the playoffs now appears to be a dramatic late-season victory. With so little time remaining, he knows that every lap, every pit stop, and every decision on the track counts more than ever before. The first opportunity for Busch to make a mark will come at Richmond Raceway, a track where he has historically performed well. With 6 wins and an average finish of 7.0 at Richmond, Busch has the experience and track record to succeed there. However, Busch has also acknowledged that past performances alone won't guarantee a win this time. The competition is fierce, and every race is a battle for survival. In an interview, Busch spoke candidly about his outlook for the remainder of the season. "I'm not going to lie, time is running out, and I know that," Busch said, "but I also know what we're capable of. Richmond is a track where we've had success, and if we execute well, we'll have a shot." Busch's comments reflect a sense of urgency that has come to define his mindset this year. With just a few races left to secure a win in a playoff spot, every decision will matter. There's little margin for error, and Busch is keenly aware of that. The pressure to perform at his best is intense, but it's nothing new for a driver who has dealt with high stakes throughout his career. The upcoming race at Richmond will not only be crucial for Busch's playoff chances, but also for his legacy. He's been in this situation before, and his career has been marked by comebacks and perseverance. But will his experience be enough to overcome the challenges of a season that has been far from smooth sailing? Richmond is just one of the tracks where Busch hopes to make a statement. The following race at Daytona is another opportunity for him to prove himself. Known for its unpredictability, Daytona often produces thrilling finishes and upsets. For Busch, the race represents a chance to turn the tide on his playoff chances. Daytona has been one of our best racetracks since I have been at RCR with Team Chevrolet. I feel really good about our opportunities in the next 3 weeks. However, while Daytona presents an opportunity, it also brings risks. The unpredictability of the track means that Busch will need to be strategic, especially with his playoff hopes hanging in the balance. The stakes could not be higher, and Busch knows that a mistake now could seal his fate. "You have to stay focused, stay calm, and take the opportunities when they come," he added. After Daytona, there's one more race before the playoffs, and it will be at Watkins Glen. A track that has presented both challenges and victories for Busch, Watkins Glen could be the site of his final push. With his playoff hopes on the line, Busch will need to finish strong. "Watkins Glen is a tricky track, but we've had success there in the past," he said. "It's all about making sure we stay in the fight and not giving up." The remaining races of the season are critical for Busch. Each one presents a new challenge, but each also provides an opportunity to secure a win and punch his ticket to the playoffs. With the clock ticking down, Busch is focused on doing whatever it takes to make the playoffs. "We can't afford to leave anything on the table," he said. "We have to go for it." While Busch's situation may seem dire, it's worth noting that he has been here before. Busch's career is defined by his ability to persevere through adversity. He's one of the most successful drivers in NASCAR history, with over 60 Cup Series wins and multiple championships. His experience and talent make him a formidable competitor, and it's no surprise that many are still betting on his ability to pull off a dramatic late-season run. The pressure on Kyle Busch is huge. He's been at the top of NASCAR for years, but now, with his playoff hopes on the line, he might miss out. No one expected this at the start of the season, but it's something he has to face. "I've been around long enough to know that anything can happen," he said, "but it's up to us to make it happen." Busch's chances of making the playoffs depend on how he performs in the next few races. The challenges are big, but his determination is strong. "We know what we need to do," Busch said. "Now it's about going out there and getting it done." As the final races approach, Busch's playoff hopes will be decided by how well he handles the pressure. He's been in tough situations before, but this feels different. The stakes are higher than ever, and there's less room for mistakes. His legacy as one of NASCAR's greats is at risk, and he knows this season could change the course of his career. Fans and analysts are watching closely as the playoffs get closer. Every race now matters for Busch's chances of making it to the postseason. In the coming weeks, we'll see if Busch can find the drive that made him a champion. "We're not giving up," Busch said.